Winners and losers. Let's talk AEW's Forbidden Door, which was not what I expected. Chris Graham here for Augusta Free Press. So AEW's Forbidden Door was the first AEW pay-per-view in quite a while, and I can't think back how long ago it was that I was disappointed in an AEW pay-per-view. Now, I want to stress I enjoyed watching the show. I kind of wear two hats among many all the time, right? There's the person in me. I watch a game, I watch a movie, TV show, whatever I watch, and hopefully you enjoy what you're watching. And I often do. But then I'm also the critic, and you gotta got that critic hat. You gotta be honest. And so a big reason that I was happy with this one. I mean, it was good content. I mean, there were things that certainly didn't live up to expectations. But it was a daylight hour show at least. It ended well before midnight because it started so early, but it being in London. I have to also be honest though, if this show had, started at traditional pay-per-view time, 7 or 8 o'clock, and it was getting close to midnight for that main event, I'm probably not watching that lights out cage match. I'm probably going to bed early. And that's before I knew how bad it was going to be. That particular match, I just didn't care who won that spectacle of a match. Also, unfortunately for AEW, that main event, the Hangman Adam Page versus MJF World Title match, wasn't what it could have been, fell flat. So did the World Tag Team Title match. Man, I was expecting FTR to come out with the belts and move forward, and I'm gonna give leeway to Tony Khan here with the booking. Maybe he's got an idea that's gonna be good, and it's not gonna be makeshift. I'm not confident, but maybe. But putting the belts on Brody King and Bandito, a makeshift tag team that's been around for just a couple of weeks, it just doesn't make any sense. Um, Going an entire pay-per-view with one title change feels like a WWE Saudi Arabia show. Of course, that one title change will be one more than you get in Saudi Arabia from WWE, but the matches were fine, mostly above average, but when a show goes the way you expect it to go in terms of who wins, except for one match, it's kind of a dud. Let's go specifically into the winners and losers. Then the winner here, I'm going with the big winner being Brody King and Bandito, the new tag champs. Good for them. You know, uh, Positive spin here coming out of that match. The Hurt Syndicate likely gets a feud with Ricochet's new tag team Gates of Agony, just because Gates of Agony and Ricochet interfered to keep uh, the Hurt Syndicate from even being involved in the final decision in the triple threat match. That's why you have a triple threat match in it for a title, so you can take a belt off of a champ without the champ having to suffer the defeat and maybe set themselves up later for being back in the championship mix with a legitimate claim. Hey, we didn't actually lose that match. It seemed logical that FTR would win just because that could set up an all-out main event in Toronto next month with Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, who won their match, the curtain jerker for the main part of the show. Kind of a weird match with Kill Switch and Kip Sabian. Kill Switch seemed to sort of turn on Kip Sabian in the match, which, whatever. Um, and maybe here's where I'm holding out hope. Maybe Tony Khan figures out a way to do something with Copeland and Cage. I don't want to rush Copeland Cage versus FTR feud. I want, something that lasts for a while. So maybe it's good that they're not going to that because Tony Khan likes to rush into things. Um, but I just don't know where things go. Where do Bandito and Brody King go from here, for example? We know again where the Hurt Syndicate goes. They get a feud without a title on the line with another sort of monster tag team. FTR loses momentum, and that's unfortunate out of this. So I don't like that. Also losing momentum and a loser here in my winners and losers, MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Khan should have gone with anybody else, a mid-card guy preferably for the first title defense for a Hangman Adam Page in his second reign as world champion. He decided to put MJF in the match, and then he had the former champ MJF throw everything, almost literally including the kitchen sink, to try to get a win. And then when he didn't, boy, that makes you look feckless. I mean, that makes you look ineffective. MJF was the guy who carried this company for a while, for a couple of years at least, and he comes out of this looking like just the absolute biggest loser. and that's just terrible for a guy who should be. I mean, he's on the mic, in the ring when he wrestles, which is unfortunately very rarely. From Tony Khan, but MJF can really work in the ring. He's diminished right now, unfortunately. I listed as a winner the timeless one, Tony Storm, even though I don't know what to do with her next. She's vanquished her top two potential challengers in the last 2 months. Mercedes Moné still the TNT champ, and then Athena still the Ring of Honor world champ. But I don't know where you go from here. Maybe you put her into a tag team feud. They've been teasing this friendship with Alex Windsor. Maybe play that out for a while and do a Mariah May part two. But yeah, I mean, right now Tony Storm is the unparalleled queen of the women's division. Loser now, AEW fans, and this is, AEW fans are going to lose out on two of the top stars in the company, really in the whole business, being out for different periods. It looks like Will Ospreay is going to be out for an extended period. I mean, we could be talking a year here with herniated disc, and he went out, man. He did a dive off the top of the cage in that stupid cage match. I don't know, man. They did an injury angle at the end to make it look legit that he's out. You don't have to do that. We all know. Swerve Strickland also, I mean, with a guy who, going in had a we were told had a meniscus issue, has a meniscus issue. He was doing high spots, dives to the ropes, stuff off the top rope to the floor. I don't know, man. I mean, those guys, God love them for, being able to do what they do, but we're gonna miss them for a while. I don't know if Strickland's gonna be out quite as long as Osprey, but it's going to be it's going to be an opportunity. Let's put a positive spin on it again. Opportunity for guys to perhaps step into the void. Mid Carters can see if they can jump into those positions. We'll conclude this segment with the big loser, Darby Allin. I know that the kid has made it clear he doesn't care if he lives to past 35. He's 32 now. I looked it up. I was in Greensboro for the Revolution pay-per-view last year where he dove off a ladder in the ring, the Sting retirement match with the Young Bucks. He dove off a ladder. I want to say it was two glass tables. That's in my mind. I didn't look it up, but glass everywhere. I mean, we were sitting sort of, our seats were sort of right there where everything happened. Thought the guy was dead. He's climbed Mount Everest. He's been thrown down stairs. Whatever else this guy does. He got last night before he takes the fork in the ear and not just like hey, jab. It was going on for a while, an uncomfortable while. He got thrown like a missile, a long dart into the cage by Claudio Castagnoli. I mean, he's got a death wish, and that's fine. That's not fine. You know, that was the fork in the ear several steps too far. That's the case for Darby Allin, for John Moxley, who was not surprisingly the guy with the fork going into the ear. Whoever was the producer of this match, for Tony Khan for approving it. Somebody needs to tell all involved in the decision-making process that went into that particular call enough already. That whole lights out match was an embarrassment to AEW and to professional wrestling and to all those individuals involved. If I never have to see aggravated felonious assault ever again on live TV and pay for the privilege, it'll be too soon.